Hey, welcome back to the Astrology of Things. I'm your host and certified astrologer, Sheena, and I am back with a new series called What is Your Dating Style? Of course, I'm going to be taking a look at your dating style from the perspective of astrology, but specifically, I'm going to be taking a look at your Venus placements in your birth chart to understand your dating style and your dating preferences. Now, Venus can be placed in any one of the 12 zodiac signs. And so every one you come across, they have different Venus placements. Sometimes they may have the same Venus placement as you, but often they are placed in different Venus signs. And so also in this series, I want to talk about the synastry between you and your dating partner. This synastry is going to be revealed through how your two Venus sign placements interact with one another. And sometimes in synastry, your Venus placements can be placed in a harmonious aspect with your dating partner or a conflicting aspect with your dating partner. And so I want to highlight how your Venus placement can correspond with the other Venus placements so that you have a better understanding and realistic expectation of how your dating style may enhance, harmonize, or challenge your dating partner's Venus placement. So why do I want to take a look at Venus in the birth chart? Well, Venus in a birth chart signifies how we relate and socially connect with other individuals on a one-to-one basis. Venus is the planet that signifies how we attract people to us and what we are attracted to. Venus represents the things that we adore, appreciate, and admire in our daily experiences. And so this is the perfect planet for us to look at to understand your dating style. So in listening to this video, you're going to be more equipped and capable of identifying any compatibility issues, but most importantly, you're going to be able to be more open, empathetic, compassionate, and respectful to the differences that you have with your dating partner and your dating styles. But always keep note that Venus is only one aspect in your birth chart. Even though we're using this specific planet to look at your dating style, there are other elements and aspects in your birth chart that may hinder and alter your Venus placement. So if you really want to deep dive as to how your Venus works in your specific birth chart, that requires a special reading. If you'd like to book a written or pre-recorded reading that dives into your unique Venus placement and how it relates to your unique birth chart, visit my website at astrologystudios.com. This reading will go beyond your dating style, and I'll look at Venus's role in your birth chart as a whole. I'll look at what house Venus rules in your chart, what degree Venus is placed at, and in what area of life that energy is channeled through. This will allow me to provide you clarity on where connection, attraction, appreciation, and admiration shows up most for you in your life, and how that supports or conflicts with other areas of your life. I'll provide clarity on how to activate and integrate your own attractive and admirable qualities. And I'll provide clarity on how to bring your ideas, creations, and concepts to the surface. These readings may go in and out of stock based on demand. So if they are sold out at the time that you want to purchase this reading, be sure to check back on the website as the reading may be restocked again. The link will be down in the description. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's talk about your dating style. Venus in Aries. Your dating style is spontaneous, bold, passionate, and private. You enjoy living in the moment and taking things one step at a time. And you have much of an appreciation for a natural, organic, and genuine connection with your lovers. From the outside looking in, people may perceive you to be amongst some of the Casanovas or man-eaters that are out there because you're able to attract so many options. And at the same time, you're one to jump into those connections, especially when you do feel an initial spark and excitement with someone. However, this gives people the wrong impression of you because they assume you're out there juggling tons of people around and that you're just out there playing the game. But in all actuality, since you do prefer to date that one person who you have a deep and genuine connection with, you're able to move on from connections that are surface level quite quickly once you get to know them at a deeper level. But when you do find those genuine connections, you do quite well with sticking with it and nurturing the connection, as long as you're able to maintain your sense of self, identity, and independence in being with them. As far as attraction goes, you may value and appreciate those who can activate you in a spiritual and psychological way, and you'd rank that higher than someone's ability to catch your attention through their physical characteristics. Aries is a zodiac sign that plays a big role in the creation and innovation in our society. So you prefer to switch things up and have dating experiences that introduce you to new things and concepts that are alien to you. So people who are creative and thought-provoking are gonna stick out to you, as this would contribute and enhance your ability to generate ideas and think outside of the box. And lastly, you're attracted to those who value independence and those who can take control and be the true definition of a leader. Because you are also one who truly values your sense of self and your independence. And you want to be able to maintain that when you're dating. When it comes to planning for the date, since you have a lot of spontaneous qualities, I'd say you're one of the most of the entire zodiac to actually accept last minute or spare of the moment dates. Matter of fact, you'd probably try your best to avoid making plans too far in advance, since you're not able to predict how you'd be feeling the day that the date arrives. You know, circumstances can change, your mood can shift, but either way, you'd prefer to show up to this date in an energetic and free-flowing way. So the more you're able to predict how you're going to feel on that particular day, the more likely you're going to want to plan ahead for it. As for the actual dates you like to experience, you err on the side of wanting to go on dates that are new and unconventional. And as I mentioned earlier, you like to switch things up and experience elements of excitement and surprise on your dates. So these elements of surprise may include things like receiving gifts or going off the beaten path of your planned date, or not having a plan at all and you're just going with the flow, or you're just going wherever the wind takes you and your date on that particular day. But generally, the connecting theme around the dates that you gravitate toward are those that involve risk-taking, dates that are adventurous and get you in touch with your instinctual side, and dates that are psychologically and spiritually stimulating for you. Some dates to consider, or dates to recommend to the person you're going out on a date with, can include a speakeasy tour. So this is a great date for you because it involves elements of privacy and exclusivity. And the fact that you have to be in the know about where these different speakeasies are located and how to get into them, that adds an element of surprise, mystery, and exploration into the date. And so uncovering these mysterious locations can be quite rewarding for you. Another date idea is to go camping. Camping is a way to get in touch with nature and helps bring out your instinctual side. And we all know that nature is always unpredictable. So going camping is going to introduce that element of risk that you enjoy taking, and it'll keep you and your date on your toes. Another date idea to try out is an escape room. And so this is a great date idea because it is going to be psychologically and mentally stimulating. And there's no better way to get to know someone you're dating than being trapped in a room until you two solve multiple interlocking puzzles. Plus, this also allows you to see which of you two are going to be able to take the lead in the relationship. And lastly, this one is quite unconventional and probably harder to find, but this is something that you can definitely replicate if you and your date decide to do something at home. But you guys can do a blindfolded dinner. And so this unique experience can enhance the psychological connection that you have together. And so when we close off one of our senses, it enhances the other senses. And so this allows you and your date to bond through sound, touch, and taste, and is going to help you to open up new opportunities to test how genuine and organic the connection is. Now that you have an understanding of your dating style from a high-level perspective, let's talk about how your dating style relates to your date's dating style through the lens of relationship astrology and the aspects that the two Venuses have the potential to have. And so this is a scale from 1 to 5 where you can see all of the aspects and how they compare to one another based on how powerful or weak that aspect is. 5 being the most powerful aspect and 1 being the weakest aspect. Conjunctions are ranked the most powerful aspect in Synastry. And so this occurs when their Venus sign is in Aries as well. And so this dynamic reflects a strong similarity and mutual understanding in your dating styles. And this allows for an easier connection. And there's no need for explanations when discussing expectations or desires when it comes to the things that you like and the things that you two are attracted to. It's as if you two are on the same team and you're able to play very well together. The next aspect you can have is a trine aspect, and this ranks at number 4. Trines occur when Venus is placed in zodiac signs that share the same element, and that makes Venuses in Leo or Venuses in Sagittarius in a trine aspect to your Venus in Aries. This aspect reflects a harmonious, easy-flowing, and effortless connection when it comes to your dating styles. And this can result in an accentuated and elevated dating experience. However, there can be a downside to this aspect. Sometimes when things are too easy-going or effortless, it does become more challenging to want to disrupt that easy connection when issues come to the surface that you two need to address. But overall, I see this aspect as a yes and. You both add on to what the other brings to the table. So for example, one person might want to go cliff jumping at a local national park, but the other one elevates that idea a bit and turns it into going skydiving. The next aspect you can have with your date is a sextile. And this is ranked at 3.5 with a potential to move to the 4th position. So sextiles occur when Venus is placed in zodiac signs that are 2 signs away from Aries. That makes Venuses in Gemini and Venuses in Aquarius in a sextile aspect with your Venus in Aries. This aspect reflects a supportive and opportunistic energy between you and your date. Each person is open to learning and adjusting to the other's dating style. We can think of this type of aspect like 2 people who go to the same school, but they play on 2 different sports teams. You both attend each other's games to show support and camaraderie with one another. The next aspect you can have with your date is an opposition, and that's ranked at a 3.5. Oppositions occur when Venus is placed in the zodiac sign that's directly opposite of Aries. In this case, that makes Venus in Libra in direct opposition with your Venus in Aries. This aspect reflects a collaborative or competitive dynamic. Since you two see dating from 2 different ends of the spectrum, you have to make a conscious effort to work together or to compete for what you like, what you want, and what you need when it comes to dating. You two have the same ideas of dating, but you're seeing it from 2 different perspectives. So for example, you may have different ideas on how you two should arrive to the date. So you being the Venus and Aries person, you may want to meet up at the location instead of driving together, while the Venus in Libra person believes you two should ride together, arrive together, and leave together. Next, you can have a square aspect with your date. And this aspect is ranked at a 3. So squares occur when Venus is placed in zodiac signs that have the same modality but are in different elements. So that makes Venuses in Capricorn and Venuses in Cancer in a square aspect to your Venus in Aries. And this aspect reflects a conflict and tension in your 2 dating styles. And so this friction creates blockers, resistance, and disharmony. So for example, you as the Venus and Aries person may want to take an unconventional and organic approach to your dating. But your date, who has a Venus in Capricorn, wants to date in a traditional and practical way. And so with this simple example, you can see that there's already a conflict and tension that you're going to have to work through. So even though this is one of the hardest aspects to experience, it definitely requires you to face challenges head on in order for you to work through them together. And this aspect has the potential for you to work through those challenges, but it's going to definitely take time and effort for you to do so. And finally, we have our honorable mentions. So these are among some of the weakest aspects that you can have with your Venus placements. At number 2, we have the semi-sextile aspect. And so this applies to signs that are right next to Aries. And so this is for the Venuses in Taurus or the Venuses in Pisces. And then at number 1, the weakest aspect you can have is the quincunx or the in conjunction aspect. And so this applies to those who have Venuses in Scorpio or Venuses in Virgo. And with this aspect, essentially your 2 dating styles don't affect one another. And so if this video resonates with you, definitely feel free to leave a comment and explain how this video has resonated with your personal experience and your dating styles. I love when people learn from each other, but specifically when it comes to astrology, we need more examples and more testimonies to how things are corresponding to real life experiences. And so I'd be so grateful if you could share those experiences, and I'm sure whoever comes across this video is going to be grateful for that as well.